Alright, everybody, welcome back. And this is going to be a new series where I was going to be talking about what happened last night of the NBA. It's what we call last night of the NBA. And so, yesterday was Christmas. Hope everyone had a nice Christmas. And first up, the 76ers. The 76ers beat the Knicks. And I would say I'm more worried about the 76ers than I am about the Knicks. Yes, this was a good win. However, the Knicks, they fought hard, and Philadelphia only won because they went on a late run, and I don't think they're really contenders in the East. But if we can get like I would take the Bucks, the Celtics, and the Nets over them, and it'd be a close matchup with the Cavs. And the Knicks, they've just been on a hot streak. They're definitely a playoff team. A contender, no. Probably, maybe a first round exit depending on who they play, but I feel like they could give the Knicks or the Sixers, the Cavaliers or the Sixers, a good run for the money and maybe take them to 6 games or so in the first round, or maybe they can pull off an upset. But not much to say about this game, and now on to the next game. Next up, we have the Mavericks versus the Lakers, and this was an interesting game. I think if the Lakers had Anthony Davis, they would have won it. I don't think the Mavericks can really contend in the West. I feel like they could take the Nuggets to 6 or 7 games. I feel like they can go head to head with any of these teams and make it a competitive series. But I don't think they beat any of the top teams like the Nuggets, the Grizzlies. Warriors isn't iffy because they've been really lackluster this season. But yeah, the Nuggets, the Grizzlies, the Suns. It's going to be hard, although Luka owns the Suns. But yeah, if Anthony Davis plays this game, I think the Lakers are going to make the playoffs. At least they're definitely making the play-in, in my opinion. But it's going to be a hard road to get there. But I feel like if they face the Kings in the play-in, they're winning that series. And overall, the Lakers have been looking pretty good this season. It's just injuries, man. Injuries have been riddling them. If Anthony Davis could be one of the best players if he does not get hurt. And this is a short game. We didn't really catch any of this game, so I'm not going to talk about it too much. So we're just going to go on to the next game. Next up, we have the Boston Celtics versus the Milwaukee Bucks. And this is going to be, depending on how the seeds work out, this might be probably the most likely Eastern Conference Finals matchup. And it's either this or Celtics Nets, Bucks Nets, or whatever. But these teams, if Chris Middleton plays, again, it's going to be go at it, but that's if Chris Middleton plays. This Bucks team, I feel like they can maybe make the finals, but they are not winning the finals unless they have Chris Middleton. He is such an important part of this team, and you could tell that they have a missing piece without him there. And as for the Celtics, this team's special, man. Jason Tatum looks like he's out for revenge. 41 points. Jaylen Brown, I think, had 29. I got a Jaylen Brown jersey for Christmas, which was awesome. And this team has so much chemistry. They click on all cylinders. And I thought this team would fall off. Maybe not fall off, but maybe go to the 4 or 5 seed because of the firing of Ime Udoka, who was such an important part of this team. And you can definitely see where they're missing, which is the defensive end. I think earlier in the season they were 18th in defensive rating. But Robert Williams is back. He's going to increase that defensive rating so much. And overall, this Celtics team, they might be the favorites to come out of the East this year. The second to last game of the night was the Warriors versus the Grizzlies. And, man, this Warriors team, if they play like this all the time, they're going back-to-back. However, that's if they play like this. Now, we'd still have 60 games left. No, not 60. 50 games left in the season. And the Warriors can turn it around. But, this team looked really good. And I started watching basketball pandemic about the year of the pandemic. I really started getting into basketball, so I never really watched the Dynasty Warriors. And if they look like this, dude, they look amazing. The way they play, the way everyone has chemistry. I thought the chemistry would be off between Draymond and Poole. Draymond had 13 rebounds, 13 assists. He is a special player. And this Warriors team really showed the Grizzlies that you guys are young and you're inexperienced, and that's what kind of hurts this team in the playoffs is their inexperience. I think that Ja could bring this team to the conference finals. The West is wide open right now. I would take like so many teams to go to the conference finals right now. Probably like 5 or 6 teams. But you saw on this picture Klay Thompson trash talking Dylan Brooks, and after the game he said it was disrespectful to call them a dynasty when they haven't won anything. And I agree with him completely. You can't call a team a dynasty if they haven't won at least a championship. Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, people are going to call the Nets a dynasty when they got Harden on that team. And they probably could have been if injuries didn't rattle them. But at the same time, they didn't win anything. I'm kind of like going in circles right now, but like, yeah, I still think the Grizzlies can make the conference finals, even the finals probably. But if they face the Celtics, the Bucks, the Nets in the finals, I don't think they're winning. I think it's a 5-game series. And one thing I have to give the Grizzlies credit for is their ability to scout talent. Dylan Brooks, Santi Alcandama, I think that's how you say the name. I don't know. Desmond Bane, Ja. I mean, Ja was the 2nd overall pick, but still. Like, these are all guys who they scouted. They didn't draft Bane, but they scouted them, and they realized their potential, and everything on this team just clicks. It just wasn't hitting tonight. I don't want to overreact to one game, but I kind of just did. And now we're on to the last game of the night. And now to the last and best game of the night. And this game even went over to the 26th for me here in Chicago. Went till like 12:40. And I need to talk about the Suns first before I talk about the Nuggets, because the Suns, they lost Devin Booker early in the first quarter with a groin injury, but even without Devin Booker, this Suns team forced overtime with a very good Denver Nuggets team. And again, this team can make the Western Conference Finals as well. The West is really wide open right now. And Landry Shamet had 31 off the bench. Chris Paul did solid. But that's enough for the Suns right now. Really don't have anything to say. But now to the Nuggets. This is one of the hottest teams in the NBA. It's one of my favorite teams in the NBA. Just the way they play. They're my favorites to come out of the Western Conference right now. I feel like they could beat any team in the West. And maybe any team in the East. I mean, the Bucks, Celtics, Nets are probably going to make the finals. I feel like they could beat the Nets. Celtics and Bucks is going to be a really hard series for them. Again, if Chris Middleton plays. But what was it? That Aaron Gordon dunk was one of the best dunks, if not the best dunk I have ever seen watching a game live. It was like 12:30, and I had not to scream because all my family was asleep. He had 28 points. Struggled at the free throw line a little bit. Jamal Murray, he's been looking really good. And now on to the star, Jokic. He has a very good chance of being a 3-time MVP back to back to back. Now, it's going to be hard because of voters' fatigue or whatever. But this man had 41 points, 15 rebounds, and 15 assists as a center. 15 assists as a center. It's insane. It's insane. He is something special, and he is a special talent. And he is one of the most underappreciated players in the NBA. I forgot what the stat line was, but pretty sure he had 50 points, 27 rebounds, and I don't know the assist numbers. But yeah, that's basically all I have. I hope to continue this series like maybe every other night. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.